Hey y'all, I am Tashana, and on this channel we talk about faith, personal growth, and finance. Today we're going to get into how to stop overspending, and I'm going to give you some realistic tips that help me save money and spend wisely. Now, before we get started, what is your crutch? What is the one thing that you overspend on? For me, it is fast food, okay? Chick-fil-A is Chinese food, is KFC. I definitely overindulge in fast food. So I want to know, what is it that you overspend on? I know sometimes it can be difficult to break certain habits, but I want to remind you and myself that God provides for us, and He is the one that gives us resources and money to spend. And the Bible says that fools spend whatever they get, and it is the wise that have wealth and luxury. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be a fool. I want to be wise with my money. The first thing you want to do is create a budget. You want to figure out what are your expenses, what is your income, and have all that written down so that you know where your money is going. Figure out how much you want to spend on eating out, how much you want to save, how much you invest. A budget is like the first step, and it's really important. And I have an entire video where I go into depth on how to budget. And so if you haven't seen that video, make sure you go back and watch that one after this one. So the second thing is live below your means. This essentially means that just because we have it to spend, just because it may be in our account, just because we have the credit limit, that does not mean that we should spend it. And I think that part of the reason why we don't live below our means is because, let's just be honest, we're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You don't need the newest car. If you have a vehicle that gets you from point A to point B and it's safe and it's reliable, there is no need to buy a new car just for aesthetic reasons. I'm going to give you an example. So the car that I have right now, it's a Ford mini SUV, and my parents gifted it to me. And I've had people ask me, do you want to get a new car eventually, something newer? And I'll be like, I'm going to ride this car until the wheels fall off. It's safe, it's spacious, I don't have any issues with it. I have no reason to get a new car. But let me be honest, I'm 27 now, and there was a time where I told myself that I would have a Range Rover by 25. And now that I'm 27 and I don't have a Range Rover, I don't really care. And going deeper into trying to keep up with the Joneses, even when it comes to the clothing that we desire, the shoes, you can get some really nice clothes that are affordable that may not cost you an arm and a leg. If you are someone where after you purchase that bag, after you purchase those shoes, you're now broke until the next payday, what good is it to look like we have money and not really have the money in our bank account? Me personally, I shop at Ross, I shop at Rainbow, and don't clown me in the comments. You gotta just look for the good stuff. I shop at Target, Marshalls, TJ Maxx. You can find some affordable clothing that's not going to put you in debt, where you can still look nice, you can still feel good, and it's not breaking your bank. We don't have to have the latest thing, because what we see on social media is fake, and a lot of those people are struggling in real life. So let's not put pressure on ourselves to keep up with them. The third thing that helps me is using a debit card for my everyday spending. Now, I know that there are some financial gurus that are going to disagree with me, because a lot of people feel like you should never use a debit card. You should use a credit card for everything because of the protection, because of the points. And while I do agree with the benefits of using a credit card, I feel like if you are a person who struggles with financial discipline, using a credit card for everyday spending may not be the best thing to start out doing if you're already inclined to overspend. If you have a credit card and the limit is, I don't know, $10,000, consciously you're going to know that when you go out to the grocery store, when you go out shopping, when you're buying new clothes, it may not be the best to use something for your everyday spending that allows you access to so much money. And I don't do this, but I've heard that it helps. Using cash. Some people will set a budget for themselves and they will withdraw the cash for that exact amount. So let's just say you know that you only want to spend $200 at the grocery store. What some people recommend is to withdraw $200 cash, so that when you go to the grocery store, you know you only have that $200 to spend, and so technically you can't go over budget. I don't prefer to carry cash, But if you don't mind it, that definitely can be something to help you if you're trying to get a handle on your overspending. Now, I want to back up a little bit back to the credit cards. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use your credit card at all. However, if you're an overspender, use your credit cards for automatic subscriptions. So like if you have a Netflix subscription, if you have a gym membership, if you have a bill that's the same exact thing every single month, those are good things to put on credit cards because it's already incorporated into your budget and you're going to pay it anyway. The fourth thing is separating your money into different accounts. Now, I have touched on this in one of my other videos, but I'm just going to go a little bit more in depth. This is something that can really, really help when it comes to overspending. So for my family specifically, the income that comes into our household goes into a joint account. And our joint account is also where any bills come out of. From this account, we allocate money into different buckets, which are spending and saving. My husband has his own personal checking account, and I have my own personal checking account. The reason why this is important is because basically we're giving ourselves an allowance. Sometimes when you have all your money in one account, it can kind of get confusing as to what you have to spend and what is for bills only. The fun money is the fun money and the bill money is the bill money. So if you are someone who has one account for everything, or you find yourself overspending what you should have set aside for bills, having separate accounts for different reasons will definitely help out with that, because you know that even if you spend all your spending money, you can't touch that bill account because that account is for your bills and your bills need to be paid. Again, this is important so you can visually see what you're spending, what's for bills, and what you're building for the future. Moving on to the fifth thing, this has to do with grocery shopping. One of the reasons why you may be overspending on groceries may be because you don't have a list. If you go into the store, or if you're like me and you order from an app, if you don't know what you need, you end up buying things that you don't need. So I like to go through my kitchen, go through my refrigerator, and plan my meals out for the week, write an entire list so that when I go to order my groceries, I'm not just getting random things. So if you haven't started making a list before you go to the grocery store, try it. I promise you it will help tremendously. The sixth and the last thing is to prepare using sinking funds. And if you don't know what a sinking fund is, a sinking fund is money that you set aside for expenses that you know are going to happen. Sometimes we have a budget and we end up going over budget because we weren't thinking ahead. This literally just happened to me. I have a 5-year-old, and as you know, Valentine's Day just passed. And when I did the budget for my family at the beginning of February, I did not take into account Valentine's Day. I didn't take into account that I had to get gifts for every student in my daughter's class. I didn't take into account that I had to get a Valentine's Day gift for my husband. I didn't take into account that I had to get a Valentine's Day gift for my daughter. So we've already gone over the designated budget for February. And the reason being is because I simply did not think ahead. Valentine's Day is the same day every single year. So the benefit of a sinking fund is that you can start saving for things before they get here, like Christmas gifts. Birthday gifts are another good one. So that's all the tips that I have. I hope this video was helpful. And like I said earlier, God is the one that trusts me with my resources, trusts me with money. And so I want to make sure that I am stewarding it the best that I can. I'm going to put the how to budget video in the corner so that if you want to learn how to create a budget, you can use that as a resource. Make sure you like and comment. And if you haven't subscribed already, I would love for you to join the community. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.